Off air.
Hello,
What's this live?
hello, beauties. My name is Nikisha Williams, and I am the senior editor of HelloBeautiful.com. And today, I am so excited to be here with one of the dopest poets out right now. He goes by the name of Prentice Powell, and he will be on this season, this upcoming season of TV1's Verses and Flow. This brother he's just really dope. He's been on the Arsenio Hall show. He's performed with Jill Scott. He's really doing his thing, and I especially am excited to talk to him because he's from my hometown of Oakland, California, which so much town love for that.
Yes,
What's up, Prentice? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great, I'm great. So we're really excited to see you on this season of Versus and Flow. I know that you hold the honor of being the only poet to appear on every single season, and you will be back when the season premieres this August 16th.
Right.
So tell me, what can we expect from you this season?
Well, it was a really, really different experience this season for me. Usually, I've had the opportunity to perform individually,
Mhm.
and I was blessed by Lexus Versus and Flow, asked to be back to be a part of an organization called Icon Man, which is all about highlighting Black men in general. They highlight your local mailman, your coach who coaches the local basketball team in his free time, to Harry Belafonte and other prominent Black men. So what I was asked to do by Versus and Flow was to write an introductory piece for the season,
Mm.
which was really, really different, because usually they know your poems, they look and see what they like, and you do your own poems. But I was asked to actually write something specifically for this season, but not only to do that, but to also write for other people as well. So I was able to share the stage with Lance Reddick, Aldis Hodge, Wesley Jonathan, Jay Ellis. It was really, really wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Devon Franklin. So it was a great experience to get up there and actually perform with other people who were doing my work, which was a completely new experience for me.
Now we don't want to spoil the whole episode, but do you want to give us a little taste of what might be in that piece or just some of your work?
So I don't want to spoil that piece, even though some people
I
may have
feel
seen it on the internet.
okay.
Um, how about this? Give me a moment for something else to share.
There we go.
I'll rack my brain for something else to share, and then I'll get back to you on that one. But definitely tune in August 16th. It's going to be wonderful. It airs at 10 p.m. on TV1.
Hmm.
I think it's either 12 or 14 episodes. But it's phenomenal. The first episode has Maxwell, Miles Hodge of Strivers Row, Malcolm Jamal Warner. It's going to be an amazing episode. It was really a lot of fun to be at the taping to see them perform.
So it's funny you mentioned Maxwell because we actually have a Maxwell ticket giveaway happening today for our beauties in Atlanta for a Baton Rouge concert that he's doing.
Oh, that's dope.
You can go, yeah, beauties, you can go on the site today and check that out, enter to win. But about Maxwell, do any of your poems kind of talk about love?
The interesting thing is, I was I was asked that question recently, and I really thought about it. I don't, Ironically, I don't write a lot about love. I think the most common space of writing about it. I think a lot. It's gonna sound really poetic, and I don't mean to be poetic or kind of cliche,
But you are
but
poetic.
right, I'm supposed to be right. But a lot of what I write comes from a space of love. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a very, very passionate person and sometimes over emotional.
Mhm.
So a lot of the things I write about come from a space of love because I care so much about the things I talk about. But as far as the Maxwell type of love, I don't. I'm working on it. I really am. I need to. And ironically, I'm kind of shy. It's something I'm kind of reserved about writing about. I think it's sharing publicly because it's such an intimate topic.
Yeah, I know. When we talked a little bit earlier, you were mentioning that you did have some favorite Maxwell songs, though. What?
Oh yeah, yeah. A Woman's Worth is awesome. Urban Hang Suite is my favorite album. So I remember when I was a whole lot younger, I had it. It was a blue CD. It was a royal blue CD.
Oh, I remember. I
I
remember.
remember I had my mom's Walkman, the CD player, and I used to play it at night, and I used to sing all those songs, imagining that I was actually singing to a girl that I liked who didn't like me at all. But well, that's a whole nother story. But no, Urban Hang Suite is my favorite Maxwell album, and I got a chance to see him record at Versus and Flow, and people are really in for a treat when they see his performance. The brother is, I mean, his sound check was dope. You know, when he was just kind of playing around and just rehearsing. So his live performance was amazing. So it's going to be good to see on August 16th.
That'll be dope. That'll be dope. Okay,
Yes.
so have you had a chance to think about maybe something that pops to your mind now that we've talked a little bit about your poetry is made with love? Is anything popping to your mind that you might want to share for people who haven't experienced what a dynamic orator and you are?
Sure. So this is actually something that I recorded while I was there at Versus and Flow. It's not going to be in the show, but it's a fairly new poem. So I was asked, what does it mean to be a black man in America? I was asked that actually by Javon Johnson, who's a part of our collective Fiveology, and this is what I came up with. So I'll share a piece of it for you.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Being a black man in America means being my brother's keeper while keeping the distance from my brother because I don't trust him further than I can see. It's believing the cops don't care about you. It's learning how not to doubt yourself because when you're born, everyone else already does. It is the love you have for your mother, regardless of her flaws, and dealing with your daddy issues so your son doesn't have to. Being a black man in America is a gift. It is a blessing. A blessing God chose for me to receive because he believes that I can handle it. It is a gamble. It's knowing every time you step outside, the world is a poker table, and whether you like it or not, your chips are all in. It is a grin you put on your face every time you feel pain, just to let the world know they will not break you. Right after dropping down to your knees, praying to God, asking him to heal you because the pressure has gotten too real, so you pop 30 pills, but it still doesn't kill you. But what will is something as simple as going to the corner store without your pistol that's tucked under your mother's floorboard. What will is not detaching yourself from your best friend's dangerous lifestyle because his loyalty won't let you. Because you know, had he not been around when that incident went down, you may not be here right now. Being a black man in America is to spend your days constantly trying to find ways to get a fair swing at this game while having the umpire tell you you're out before you even step to the plate. It is to work minimum wage and be paid in Cracker Jacks as the whole world watches with open eyes as you sit to get to the bottom of the box only to find out that there is no prize. It means that you can die with a pack of Skittles in your pocket, have your murderer acquitted, then deemed as a celebrity to participate in a boxing match against a washed-up drug addict who used to rap, have people who look just like you pay to see it on pay-per-view, even though it won't bring your life back. It means black boy, turn your music down, play it loud if you want, but that may be the last gas you ever pump. Being a black man in America means stay out of Florida, and I got a son who lives in Florida. Okay, I'll leave it right there.
Woo! Mic drop.
It's rough.
Woo!
But the poem that I wrote that we all performed on behalf of Icon Man on Lexus Versus and Flow this season, it honors black men. It's to highlight us as black men. And I think it's really, really dope how Lexus Versus and Flow was intentional with requesting that. You know, it wasn't just write a poem. You know, we want something that highlights black men. And the fact that, you know, some of these prominent actors who have been in the entertainment industry for so long were willing to, you know, invest their time to, you know, for me, it was so dope because when I got up there, I hadn't met these gentlemen before. Obviously, I've seen them for years on television. So I try to stay like kind of calm, you know, and collected like I've been here before, even though I have. And every season, it feels like it's my first time. And, you know, shout out to Versus and Flow and Walton Isaacson for, you know, treating us spoken word artists as artists. That's the one thing that I think is really, really awesome. You know, to be honest, they were, when I did season 1 and went to Atlanta, they were the first people that ever gave me that artist treatment. You know, when I got there was a stylist, there was a barber, you know, like it was someone to steam your clothes.
Hollywood levels, right?
Right. No, it really was. You know, and I had my clippers in my suitcase. I had an iron in my suitcase. I had starch. And even then, that first season, I think I kind of offended the barber in Atlanta because I went into the bathroom and I cut my hair because I was like, you know, I'm about to be on TV. I gotta, you know, I trust myself, and I can't have no hairline that's going back to here, But going back to what I was saying, meeting these actors, and they're all so down to earth people. And the thing about the show in general is, I don't know if the stars align when they book these artists, and from the wardrobe to the stylist to the production people, everybody are really good people. So for these brothers to be a part of it, and to highlight black men, and for Icon Man and Lexus versus the Flow for giving us an opportunity to do it, and Walt Isaacson, it's powerful. You don't see this on TV enough.
You
And it's
don't.
usually scripted. So it's great to see them, give us the freedom as poets to get up and express ourselves in the manner in which we wrote it, not give us a script. I think it's really awesome that they allow us to do that.
Well, I think if the poetry that you're going to spit this season is full of the passion and love that you just put into that piece you shared with us, which I know it will be, I really cannot wait to see you and what you'll bring this season. But now I know you have been on the show several seasons before. So how do you think the show has changed as the season has gone, or has it?
Absolutely.
And what have been some of your highlights as you kind of just progressed in that experience?
The show has evolved. I think from a space of just from production, from I think gaining more exposure to spoken word. It's exposed a lot more very talented poets across the country to the show. It's given a lot of us an opportunity to be on national TV, and I don't know, I still don't write for anybody but myself, so a lot of us, when we get in this notebook, we're writing, I write to stay sane, like I need therapy, like I have a life and kids, and it's rough, so they allow us to get on stage and share this work. And I've seen the show go from being amazing to absolutely amazing to I can't believe it's this amazing to speechless. Like last season it was, and I've been there every season, and you just get more and more supporters and more followers and more poets who are attempting to be on the show and submitting tapes. And you have Walt Isaacson doing an amazing job with just the talent recruitment, and it's evolved. The treatment, everything. It's shown us that there's more to this than just the coffee shop. And I think that's amazing. It's really exposed our brains. It really has. Hold on, baby. Okay, baby, it's okay. All right, go ahead and sit in the chair, Daddy. Sorry, I'm on Daddy duty.
Oh no, it's okay. Our brother site, the Urban Daily, they do Fatherhood Friday, so we have lots of love for the men out there who are.
Oh yeah, this is definitely Fatherhood Friday. I'm home, not traveling for about 2 weeks, so I'm definitely getting my full share of fatherhood right now.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, I know, you mentioned that the show is giving a lot of exposure to poets and another avenue for poets to express themselves. But I know that you've performed in several different venues, and even though you've done the Arsenio Halls and I know you performed with Jill Scott. What are maybe some other venues or other places that we might see your work? I know right now, Oakland, our hometown, is hosting National Poetry Slam.
Right.
And I know you're not involved in it this year because you got all this other amazing stuff going on, but you have been involved in that in the past, right?
Yes, I have. I was blessed to be on the 2003 Oakland Slam team. We placed fourth in the nation there, and I was on 2006, 2008. Went back in 2012, I think was the last time I did it. Right now, it's interesting because I always go back to saying that I never write for exposure.
Right.
So I'm never thinking what's going to come out of me writing this poem. I'm thinking, how can I not go crazy, or how can I try to make an impact in a different way? So lately it's been a lot of internet, a lot of, I think, local work. Okay, go ahead, baby. A lot of local work as well. Just kind of I think one thing that I had to do, honestly, because I'm not used to the attention and it gets a little weird, it's an adjustment, but I also see how with getting more exposure and more attention, it's important to stay grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm getting back to the grassroots level, kind of, making sure I am at home in Oakland. I plan on stopping by Nationals today and tomorrow, to make sure that we're represented in our own city. There's poets from all across the country there, so all of us should be there.
Right.
It's yeah, I know. I heard it's awesome so far. So getting back to that, YouTube, I have an app that just got developed that I just released last week.
What's it called? And what's your YouTube channel? Like if we want to check you out.
So people can go to Prentice Powell 1906. That's my YouTube channel, Prentice Powell 1906. People can always go to YouTube and, find me there. They can always go to Twitter, which is at Follow Prentice. My Instagram is Prentice Powell 1906. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lot, that I'm trying to do. My app, you can go to Prentice.maxmobileapps.com. It's super long. It's on all of my social media sites.
Okay.
Hey, you want to come sit with me? All right, because you're lingering. All right. You got to be quiet though, okay? Okay. So you can always go to Prentice.maxmobileapps.com. But right now it's really just going back to the notebook. Mm-hmm. Just being involved within my notebook. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really, really important, not to get comfortable with the work that let me get you in here. Okay, there you go. Not to get comfortable with the work that, you've created that people may recognize you for, mm-hmm. because that gets stagnant. And, so you learn a lot as an artist that you have to keep developing, keep creating, mm-hmm. and not let some of the attention that you may get for one or two poems define you.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't.
Right.
So I'm trying to be all over the place. That's really my goal. So anywhere you look and anywhere you go, I want to be in your local newspaper, in your Craigslist ads about, well, actually that's kind of weird. No, not Craigslist ads, but something else. But my goal is really just to be heard.
You're on social media?
Yeah, I am on social media.
And I heard all those are you an alpha man? I'm like listening to all these like websites. I'm like, wait a minute.
You hear 1906. So yes, I definitely am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Well, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
What?
Yes.
You're my soror.
Yes. So not only do we have this hometown love,
we got Greek love here. See, we're here.
We're here.
What school did you go to?
Huh?
What school did you go to?
Howard University. So
you went to Howard.
Yes. Oh. Alpha chapter. Alpha Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
I see you. I have some let's see, is there, I'm looking. This is actually I'm trying to find something. Yeah, so you see there's
Aww.
Right here. This is a 06 and 08 type of house.
I love it. I love it. Where did you go to school?
I went to San Jose State. So I went to Epsilon Mu, but I went to San Jose State.
Yep.
And got a lot of experience with poetry there as well. Mm-hmm. Just trying to do events and things like that and expose people to it. And it was funny in college. I was, the dude who did that weird poetry. You want to show him A5?
No.
Oh.
He's awesome.
People who did the I was the guy who did the poetry that nobody understood. And it's really good to see, how spoken word has evolved and been exposed to so many more people,
Well, I think with everything going on right now in the news, I mean, even everything that you addressed in your poem about what it means to be a Black man right now, it's definitely important and imperative that we have voices on, these narratives and these things, that we have our own voices.
Right.
So that we can shape our own stories and share these narratives. So it's funny that you say that you often say in your notebook and that you write for yourself.
Right.
A lot of writers can relate to that. But, it's also amazing that you're sharing such honest work with such a large audience, because these are things that, at least at the site at hellobeautiful.com, we try to put voice on these kind of issues and experiences that are happening to us all, Black men and Black women.
Yeah, I think it's important, and I think that's great that you guys are doing that at Hello Beautiful and exposing people to, you know, I think not the cliche imagery that we see so much from us as a people,
right?
You know, and you know, Versus Flow is also giving us a very, you know, big opportunity to do the same thing, and I think I don't think people really take the time to think about, you know, how much they're doing for us, you know, like how much this impacts and exposes our thought process and our creativity and our originality. You know, it does so much for us. And, you know, for it to be supported and be on for 4 seasons, I think it needs to be on for 12.
Right.
You know, because there's so many people with a voice. There's 18-year-olds with a voice. You know, I teach 10-year-olds who have things to say, who are amazing. And it's given us these opportunities to be able to say those things, you know? So it's great, you know, that Lexus has engineered Versus the Flow for this purpose, you know?
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you should mention 10-year-olds. Maybe for somebody who might be wanting to get into poetry but doesn't really know where to start or how to, you know, I mean, besides picking up a pen and paper and just writing on what's on your heart, you know, how did you get started, and what did you do in the beginnings of being a poet that got you to kind of this place that you're in right now in your artistry?
You know, I got started at the Oakland Slam in 2003. I had a cousin by the name of Tyson Amir who, you know, everything he tried to do as a kid, you know, he was a couple months older than me, I tried to do. So he came to my local library and did a poem. And I had never heard of a poem before. I'd never heard a poem. I thought it was dope. So I went home and I wrote one. And I have a theater background, so I did forensic speech and debate in high school. And I hadn't done anything like that since. And my mom picked me up one day because I was sitting in my apartment and I was depressed. And because I had broken, I said I was depressed. I had broken up with an ex-girlfriend and I was sitting in my apartment kind of depressed. Mm-hmm. And she picked me up and she gave me an opportunity. She said, you know, I want to take you somewhere. So she brought me to the Oakland Slam and she signed me up and I didn't know. And so they called my name and I did the poem because it was the only poem I had and it was memorized. And they told me to come back to compete for the team. So every week I came back with a new poem. I wrote a new poem each week so I can compete to make the team. And I did. And 2 months later, we came in 4th in the nation as a team, you know, after writing my first poem. So, you know, it was kind of, thank you. I mean, that was the whole team.
Not bad for a first try. Like that.
Right, no, not at all, right? So, you know, something like that happens and you kind of say to yourself, well, maybe this is something I can kind of stick with. You know, let me explore this. And I think more importantly, a lot of my initial poems were written in third person because I wasn't comfortable saying this is me I'm talking about. But what poetry has done for me and still does is it reminds me that I'm not alone in my thought process.
Right.
You know, other than being therapeutic, when you know, there's nothing like saying something that you feel and having somebody say, yeah, while you're doing it, or you hear a clap off of something you really feel, you know, to let you know that other people can relate.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's important for me to know that there's other like-minded folks out there. So, you know, it saves me a lot of, I think, headaches, grief, trouble. It brings me patience. It keeps me healthy mentally and physically. And, you know, I'm blessed to be able to be doing it on such a large platform. You know, that's the main thing about it. You can stand in the corner and, you know, do your work. And, you know, also I'm looking at my son right now because I think about the fact that, you know, he's over here with this toy microphone. But how it influences youth.
Train up a child.
Yeah. Right. You know, it influences youth. You know, it shows them that there is something else that they can be doing with themselves. You know, there's nothing wrong with liking sports and things of that nature, but there's more to life.
Right.
You know, self-expression is important and it's vital.
I think it's really important that you mention how therapeutic writing can be. I know we're about to kick off a mental health series on our site this month, actually this Sunday. And, you know, we're just exploring, the different kind of topics and issues that we all deal with and ways that we can all express ourselves so that we're not all bottling these things in and that we're not all just carrying them on our own. And it's funny because even as you say that it's been helpful to you to hear that people are relating to you, I would probably bet that there's a whole lot of people out there who feel the same way about you and your work, that you're lending a voice to issues that maybe other people are going through as well, and that they're relating to you just as much as you're finding relief in being related to. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of reciprocity in it, and I think that's the one thing about this exposure that I'm learning. You know, I'm over here thinking I'm trying to, you know, keep myself healthy mentally and things of that nature, and I'm hearing that your poem did this or made me feel this way. I had a gentleman who sent me an email last week, and off of a poem I have about my son who's in Florida, he said that at the end of last year, it inspired him to go back to court to fight for his son.
Wow.
And he sent me the paperwork of him receiving custody like 3 weeks ago, and a picture of him picking up his son and his son in the back seat. And he, in the email, he said, you know, this is the last time I have to pick my son up from his mother and worry about not seeing him for a couple of months because I just got custody.
Wow.
You know, and so that's not me. You know, that's God working, you know, in my opinion. Like, I'm a vessel. And so to know that, you know, your pain or experiences can have that impact, how can you stop doing this? You know, like, how can you not continue to bleed for other people?
I think it's so interesting how our words, just all of us, whether you're a poet or a journalist or just a person sharing your experience to your friends, our words can all have such impact on each other, good or bad. We can cause a negative ripple effect with our words or a positive ripple effect with our words. And I think it's beautiful that, you know, you are sharing your truth, and, you know, we all have different experiences, and sometimes we don't understand experiences because we don't relate to them, or we don't know we can't put a face on them. You know what I mean?
Right. And then we don't take the time to either. I think, you know, if we automatically don't connect, then we just kind of, you know, throw it to the wayside.
Right.
You know, but and I keep going back to Verses and Flow because, I mean, that's the reason why I'm even talking to you right now. But it exposes so many people's backgrounds and so many different walks of life.
Right.
So, you know, somebody gets on that stage and you look at them and you can try to assume that you know what they're going to say. But 10 times out of 10, it's not. 9 times out of 10. I want to say 10 out of 10. So I'll say 99.8% of the time, it's not going to be what you think. Right. And it's because we're all different. And I think it reminds people how human we are. You know, this art form definitely, you know, exposes the humanity within us. And it's amazing that they're giving us opportunity to do it.
I think that's such an important distinction, that we are all human, but that we are all different. I think sometimes, you know, we get into this whole like, oh, we're all the same, and like, let's all be one. It's like, no, we all have different experiences and different narratives, and we're not actually all the same, although we are all human, and it is healthy and good for us to all share our different experiences and try to, you know, hear each other and see each other in a way that sometimes we are all guilty of not doing. So I'm so excited to see you do your thing on Lexus's Verses and Flow this August 16th. It's coming.
Yes.
You know, I know we are in for a big treat. You said Maxwell's going to be performing. You're performing.
Miles Hodge, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Icon Men. It's wonderful, and it's the first episode. And, you know, I was there the whole time we were taping.
That's all the first episode?
Yeah, so I was there the whole time, you know, the whole week I was there. And I mean, they got the cream of the crop for poets, you know, and there's so many more out there, but the ones that they did actually get are amazing people, amazing writers. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of creativities, there's a lot of new work, and it's giving people who really are hungry an opportunity to be heard. And you know, you got to tip your hat to Lexus and Verses and Flow and Walton Isaacson for the amazing work they've put in for the last 4 seasons.
And we also tip our hat to TV One, the TV station.
Oh, absolutely. You know, who else gave them an opportunity to put this show on air?
Right.
You know, if it wasn't for TV One, it wouldn't be happening.
Yeah. I'm really glad that, you know, we have the TV Ones of the world, and that, you know, we have Lexus to help these kind of programming come to fruition and be seen on screens. So I know you got to go do your daddy thing, so I'm not going to keep you all day.
Oh, it's good. That boy,
he'll be all right.
He's wonderful. He's good. He's right next to me right now, anyways.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah. He's all quiet.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
He's well behaved.
Well, okay. He's adorable. I know this is our time, so I just want to thank you again for taking the time to talk with us here at HelloBeautiful.com. You know, really looking forward to seeing you on Lexus's Versus and Flow on TV One. If August 16th, set your DVRs. And you know, is there any last words you want to give us before we sign off?
Well, I just say continue to support. I mean, continue to support Lexus Versus and Flow. You can always go to versusandflow.com for more information. Twitter, Instagram, Hello Beautiful. Clearly continue to support because they're supporting. You can always follow me on social media. You can always go to Fiveology.com for our poetry collective. That I do have to say, I am part of a spoken word collective. It consists of myself, Sean Williams, Dr. Javon Johnson. I have to say the doctor.
Come on,
right, Andrew Tyree and Rudy Francisco. And we're definitely trying to do some new things as well. We're working towards getting on Broadway with our writing and our performances. That's our goal. So you can check us out. We are Fiveology.com. And thank you for listening and supporting, and thank you for taking the time out to talk. I'm excited about Versus and Flow. I already have my DVR set up, you know, for it to happen, and I'm excited to see what this season brings for everybody on the show, because I know I definitely have learned a lot as a person and as an artist from the show. So, you know, thank you to Walton Isaacson, Lexus, and Versus and Flow for everything you guys have done for me, because I am beyond humbled and grateful. So, and thank you to Hello Beautiful again for taking the time out to talk to me.
I love talking to you too. Keep us posted with everything that you're working on, okay? So we can get the word out and we can support you. And be sure to hold it down in the town for me. Show Oakland some love for me today when you go to the poetry competition.
All right, I'll breathe in the air extra hard just for you today.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks so much, Prentice, and we will see you on our TV screen soon.
August 16th, 10 p.m.
Bye.
Bye.